Hello Virgo, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of January 15th through 21st. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and you know what, share this video if you don't mind. It would really help us out in the algorithm. Now we're going to take a look into your general energies for the week. It's very important that you remain open and receptive to whatever might come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. I can read the energy that comes through, but I can't always understand every particular detail. Very often, the final step in any reading is up to you. So we have a Priestess card today. A little bit of moon energy, some lunar influence. Let's see what that might mean for us today. Okay, we're going to lay out the rest of our Dove and Serpent spread. Interesting cards today. I think I say that every time I do a reading for you, Virgo. You've got such interesting cards coming out. We're going to do the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're going to leave that right there. We're not going to look at it until the very end, so stick around. Hopefully that'll tie the reading together, you know, and give us the confirmation that we're looking for at the end. So major, water, earth, earth, major, major, water, major, and a little bit of air. So it's really, you know, kind of a lot of major arcana, and then a lot of these earth and water energies. Okay, which I think is a good thing. I think this is really showing that you are kind of really very much in touch with the physical realm, very much like in tune with your body, in tune with the earth, and I think you're receiving inspiration from that. I think it really is like a way for you to get this kind of force and fire built up in you. Now, we don't see a lot of fire. The fire that we do see is really excellent fire. It's the Eon card, the Judgment card. Pure fire right at the top of the path of the dove. We'll get to that card in a moment. What we see here with this High Priestess card, right? This moon card, the lunar influence. I think there is a fluctuation going on in you in terms of your sense of inspiration, your sense of meaning and purpose and love and affection, right? The kind of emotional realm. I think at some points your emotional light is hidden, you know, with the dark of the moon. At other times your emotional light, your purpose, your meaning, your connection, your affection is very bright and very obvious and very, very giving, right? Very generous and outward flowing. So I think there is this kind of fluctuation going on this week, right? It could be a week that is kind of up and down, not in the sense of like a roller coaster relationship, but I think some days you're going to feel very, very bright, very connected, very loving. Other days are going to be a little bit darker, a little bit more reserved. And I think what's happening is you have this connection with the earth realm. You have this connection with the planet, with Mother Earth, with nature. You have a connection with your own physical body. Okay. Now I don't know if there's something physical going on with you this week. We'll get to that in a moment. But these two cards together, let's just kind of talk about that again. We have the Priestess and we have the Ace of Cups here. So I do feel like this cup that you have, this Ace, this is your emotional body, your sense of purpose and fulfillment, your sense of love and joy and beauty, your happiness, the way that you're connecting on this emotional level with people, with events, you know, with circumstances. I think it's going to be fluctuating this week. Again, some days I feel a very strong connection. Other days it feels like the connection's not there. It's not there in an outward visible way because I think it withdraws. Right? It's like an intermittent light. Some days it's shining and then it's withdrawn and it's used internally. So it's not gone, right? It's just that the rest of us out here in the world can't see it because it's directed inward. Okay? And I want to make sure that's clear because it's not like on off. It's not a real fluctuation in the degree of light or the intensity of the light or the brightness, right? The amount of water energy, of that love energy, that joy, that connection, that affection. it's still the same intensity. It's always there, right? Because what does the moon do? It reflects the sunlight, okay? And that sunlight's always there. The moon's always getting sunlight, I'm pretty sure. But we can't always see it, you know? Sometimes it's obscured from our view. And in your situation, I think it's because it's directed internally. It's conserved rather than expressed outwardly to others, okay? So it may appear to us on the outside as darkness coming from you, but it's not. It's just that the light is directed inward. And I think that's fluctuating this week for some reason or another. Let's find out what else is going on. I want to go to the path of the serpent, but we've got to wait. We've got our structure here that we do. So we're going to go to the recent past, and we've got this Mercury figure, this magician, this magus. I think in the past you've had experiences of kind of a deceptive influence. I'm getting this feeling like a major part of who you are is a result of some kind of deception that went on in your life. It could be a repeated thing, something that happened multiple times. You know, I don't think this is just like one particular person that was deceiving you in a major way, that had some kind of a plot or a scheme against you that you fell victim to. I mean, it may be one particular instance, okay? But I feel like it's a repeated thing that you've had these kinds of negative influences in your life. These negative energies, these people have been around you that have tried to take advantage of you, have been just deceptive and devious and just kind of plotting and scheming, right? Usually the Mercury energy, the Magus card usually gives me a pretty good vibe, pretty positive energy, but right now I feel like this is an issue with you. I think it's something from your past, a series of events, a general trend of energy in your life, of this just kind of deception, almost like con artist kind of thing. You know, and I don't know, maybe you've been at the bad end of some business deals, or you've had people around you that, you know, you thought were your friends, but it turns out they had kind of other agendas, other motivations. They weren't being honest. There was some deception there, okay? And I feel like that's a large part of who you are now. And it may be creating this kind of mistrust, this, it may be what's contributing right now. I don't know if this is something that maybe the last instance of it happened recently. But I feel like this is an issue today. This is something that's affecting you right now. And it could be why we have this fluctuation of the brightness of this water energy, this love connection. And, you know, this Ace of Cups is also trust. You know, it's connection, it's purpose, it's being vulnerable and open with other people, you know. And I think maybe that's why this is fluctuating. Why sometimes it's freely given and expressed and it's really bright and radiant, and other times it withdraws and you keep it inward. And you use it to kind of recharge yourself, you know, to shine a light on what's going on within too. So it could be that this is also a period of great introspection for you, okay? It could be during these periods of apparent darkness, right, when that lunar light fluctuates and this cup energy withdraws inwardly, that you're using that to illuminate some of these other aspects of your own being, soul, psyche. Because of this event, this series of events, this kind of energy that you've it feels kind of like a victim thing to me. I don't want to get too intense or too serious about it. I hope that everyone is okay. If you need any kind of assistance, please reach out to the proper channels, the proper authorities, or your support system. Utilize the resources in your area, right? Get the help you need. Make sure that you are safe. I feel like it is a period of introspection, though. I think you're kind of reassessing some of this Mercury energy from your past, and it could be that the final instance of this, or the most recent one, wasn't too long ago, okay? But again, it feels like there was some kind of deception going on, or it's been kind of a trend of that with people in your life, okay? And I think, I think that's why right now, this week, we've got this fluctuation with this water energy, okay? This trust, this love, this affection, this meaning, and kind of trusting in our feelings too, And so sometimes that's freely given, sometimes that's withdrawn and used internally, all right? And this is beneath the surface. This is that Knight of Cups that seems to always be in your readings. Okay, I think this is a Cancer person in your life, or it is at least someone who is very emotional and very sensitive, and it doesn't always have the best composure. Maybe sometimes lets their emotions go a little bit rather than trying to stay refined, stay stoic. It could be someone that tries to be stoic, but it doesn't always work. But this is beneath the surface, so I wonder why this is here as a foundation card. It could be that your relationship with this person, this maybe a water sign person, maybe a Cancer person specifically, could be that your relationship with this person is what is bringing to mind all of these past events. Those past trickster, magician, magus, juggler kind of events, right? This deception, this betrayal, whatever this was. We've talked about that. I don't want to keep saying the words, But this is at the bottom. This is the foundation of it. So this really could be why this is taking place now. This is the ground that's kind of giving rise to all of this energy again. Okay? Now, I said at the beginning that you're very much connected with the earth, that you're very much in tune with your physical body, and in tune and connected with the earth, with the planet. And that is a starting point for you to process some of this energy and really try to move beyond and advance and grow and have this kind of spiritual evolution, that you're really taking inspiration from this earth connection that you have now. And I want to keep that in mind, because that's kind of where we're going next, all right? Above everything, we see this fire energy. This is that Eon or Judgment card, the rebirth, reawakening, the baptism by fire. This is that fire energy that we talked about, where this, you're using this this kind of sensitivity that you have right now to really begin some new, this could be like new breakthroughs on a spiritual level. This could be new opportunities for you to grow both physically and financially, spiritually, emotionally, right? I think that it's all taking place at the same time. I think that you're really looking toward a, not so much a new beginning, right? This isn't the death card. This isn't something that we have to destroy and then rebuild. This is a natural progression of things where you have done all of this work up till now, and you're right at this doorway, and you just have to really turn the handle and walk through to the rest of your life, to the future, to the next level, the new era of your life. But this doorway is on fire, okay? This doorway burns, it's hot, it's smoky, it's very intense. And so this is kind of a scary thing. It's something, it's at the top of the path of the dove. So it's something that you're looking toward, you're aspiring to, that's where you're headed. But the closer you get, the hotter it feels, right? The more it's kind of agitating, the more it's upsetting things, the more it just seems like it's kind of doing the opposite of what we want, right? It seems like it's making things worse. The closer we get to the fire, the more it hurts, the more pain we experience. But we're closer to going through that doorway. This is really the threshold. This is the portal to that new era, a leveling up for you. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, the works, right? All of it. But it is that baptism by fire. Okay, so it's going to hurt. It's going to be hot. It's going to be intense. It's going to be a lot of agitation and aggression and, anger and all of these really fiery emotions, right? But I think it's well worth it. What we see in the immediate future is the final extent of some of this communication, some of this thought energy. Okay, some of this intellectual, mental connection. We're talking a lot about the emotional connection, right? But there's this communication part of it too. How is that being expressed? I think what we're looking at in the immediate future is some visible appearance, some kind of visible actual result from all of this communication. And it's the communication, it's the emotional communication too. Like communication's not just verbal. It's physical with body language. It is emotional with, with expression, with gestures, with just a general vibe and aura. Okay? So I think that all of this communication that you've been working on, which again is sometimes very freely and outwardly given, and then other times goes dark. Okay? So I think that the other person on the other end, which might be this Cancer person or this water sign person, I think that they are starting to kind of learn these patterns. It's almost like it goes light, it goes dark, it goes light, it goes dark. It's almost like Morse code, right? But they're starting to figure it out. And they're starting to put all of the pieces together, like this Ten of Swords. Now, the Ten of Swords is typically called ruin, right? This is like the breaking down of any kind of communication or understanding, right? But I'm looking at this from a different point of view, okay? I'm thinking that this is, well, one, this card is ruled by the sun in Gemini, okay? So I think there's a real illumination of this partnership, of the connection, of the communication, the exchange of energy between two people, right? Between you and, I think it's this water sign, maybe Cancer person. And this kind of communication is going to really actually get somewhere and mean something. Okay? It's going to be that it's going to result in something that's visible, something that's tangible and understood. Now, we're still in the realm of thinking, right? So when I say it's visible, tangible, I'm not saying it's something that you're going to be able to pick up and hold, But you're going to be able to pick it up and hold it in your mind. And this Cancer person will too. It's going to be that concrete idea, that concrete understanding, the concrete establishment of this kind of mutual respect, understanding, communication, right? And I think that's very important. And I think that is something that's been trying to happen for a while. But because of all of this in the past, and because of the nature of this fluctuation, this kind of on-off, light-dark kind of pattern that we have, the Morse code. It's almost like this person has had to learn Morse code, but your own special kind of Morse code, right? But I think that is happening now, and I think it's starting to materialize into a concrete concept and understanding, right? A real established communication between the two of you. So I think this is really positive energy. This is really a good sign to me. Now we're going to move over to the path of the serpent because I want to talk about this earth energy. The first thing we have is your general energy, a 9 of Pentacles or discs. This card's typically about gain. It's about receiving something in the physical realm. Okay? And I think that this is your focus on physical things. Okay, so focusing on your physical body, your health, fitness, your wellness, right? Diet and exercise. This is you focused on fulfilling the needs of your senses, right? You're looking at things that inspire you. You're listening to things that inspire you. You are tasting and smelling and feeling textures that inspire you, that charge you up, that fill you with this fire energy, fill you with the motivation to continue on here, right? Despite the pain and anger and danger and the heat and intensity of that, it's propelling you on, it's pushing you forward, okay? So you have this real connection with your senses and with the things around you. And it is just like this kind of electricity and this magnetism that you feel just from being in nature, being immersed in the natural world, right? This is, people kind of joke about it, or it's a cliche or something, but of taking off your shoes and socks and putting your feet in the dirt. To really ground yourself, really feel that connection. And, there's an electromagnetic response between you and the earth and the molecules and atoms and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I believe that. But I also think that it's, and this is probably the same thing, but you're experiencing that sensation, and that sensation itself, that tactile experience, is the clothing on that electromagnetic interaction. Like what's really happening if we can look in between all of the molecules. We'd see the electromagnetism. I don't know if you can see that or not, but we would be aware of it. But the way that we experience that is through that sensation, through our nerve endings, through whatever it does in our brains. When we connect with that kind of energy that we can feel and hear and taste and touch and smell. Okay, so it really does something to us. And I don't know, I'm not a physicist or whatever, I don't know how to explain it. But I think you know what I mean. It's that same idea of taking off your shoes and socks and digging your feet into the dirt, or when you put your toes in the sand. I think everybody knows that feeling. Some people don't like that feeling, but I think a lot of us get some kind of spiritual experience from that. It's some kind of a magical thing. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but I think you're very much connected to that sort of thing lately. And I think that's giving you a lot of inspiration. What we see in terms of your connection card, we see a 6 of pentacles or discs, coins, diamonds. And this is how you are relating to other people or circumstances, or how you're relating to the environment. Okay, this is you and your general energy. I think that you're focused on making progress physically with your diet and exercise, with your satisfying the desires of your senses in a way that is uplifting and inspiring and magical. Okay, so you're gaining that. And between you and the environment, I feel like there's this great harmony right now. I think with the 6 of Pentacles, this is a 3 internally. Okay, so this is your commitment, your work ethic, your kind of holistic approach to the life that you're leading, your day-to-day life. And I think the universe is matching you. I think the people around you are matching you. There's this real sense of rhythm and harmony going on. It's almost like when you stick your toes in the sand, and then the sand kind of sticks its toes in you, right? That sounds weird, but you know what I mean. It's reciprocating. It is a mirroring of your intention, your efforts, what you're putting out, you're getting back. And I think it's really manifesting as this kind of holistic lifestyle, this rhythm, flow, this real beauty and magic in your world. Okay, and I think that the more you put into this, the more the universe is going to give back to you, and you're going to feel this come right back. You know what I mean? We're going to move on now to the next card. This is some more water energy. Okay, this is your fears, worries, and concerns card, 4 of Cups. I think that this is kind of the opposite of what we were talking about with this Priestess and this Ace. This is the fluctuation, this is the real intensity, outward flowing, and then the withdrawing, using it internally. Your fear is that you're not going to have either of those. It's almost like you would rather have this kind of up and down, this outward and then inward. You'd rather have this fluctuating than this stagnation. Okay? And I think this is part of your concern, is that when you make this progress, when you go through this doorway, this threshold into this new era of your spiritual evolution, what if this flow, this kind of alternation of this spiritual energy, this water energy, this love, affection, this meaning, what if that stagnates? What if then you're just kind of just level, just like even Steven? You know, it's kind of boring. We use the analogy of this being a boat, where it is, you're no longer in distress, you're no longer involved in this really emotional work. And so maybe you're worried that there's going to be no emotional highs or lows anymore. You know, the only reason why joy feels so good is because we know what sorrow feels like. But with a Four of Cups, there's neither of those. It's just you're anchored in one place. Boat's not sinking, no holes in the boat, but you're also not going anywhere, right? So it's just, you're just kind of anchored there. There's no up, there's no down. And this is your concern, right? I think you'd rather have the extreme fluctuation than have nothing at all and just have it be rather tasteless. Okay? But I don't think that spiritual progress, you know, everyone, not everyone, I'm not trying to generalize or make sweeping statements too often, but I think a common misconception is that spiritual progress somehow equates with either indifference or stoicism or a lack of emotional range. Okay? And I don't believe that's true. I think emotional or spiritual progress puts us more in touch with our emotions. So when we're angry, we can recognize that we have an anger. We don't identify with it. We can feel it and we can let it go. But we still have to feel it. Okay, this Four of Cups is the feeling or the worry that we're not going to feel any emotion at all, that we're just going to be blank. Okay, completely apathetic. And I don't think that's spiritual progress. So I don't think this is a real concern. I don't think this is something that you need be concerned about. Because I don't think this is what spiritual progress is. Okay. What we may interpret spiritual progress as is similar to this Justice or Adjustment card. And this is trying to remain balanced at all times. Yes, the pendulum's going to swing. The scales are going to fall into a negative state once in a while, a positive state once in a while. There's, you know, the thing about the scales here is that they fluctuate, right? That's what scales do. One side's up, one side's down. That's how it works. But the idea is, or the goal or the work is to try to bring it back into balance. When it does shift out of balance, we just strive to get it back in balance. Okay? And I think that is a lot different than just having no fluctuation at all, being completely apathetic. No, this is about having the fluctuations, having the extremes of emotion, but just bringing it back to a center. Bringing it back to a balance. Once we process it, once we see it, we hold it, we let it go, we bring the balance back. So I think that this is at the end of the path of the serpent, right? So I think this is a big part of the work for you, is to, on the one hand, not be concerned with a lack of emotion. Don't think that the only alternative to an extreme emotion is no emotion at all. Okay. So part of the work, recognize it's not about apathy. It's not about the absence of feeling. It's more about letting those feelings go and bringing the balance back as quickly and as effectively as possible. You linger in one emotion too long, and you identify with it. It becomes all of you. It becomes the ruling force in your life, at least for that time period. Okay, and I think some sagely advice that I've learned is to not identify with it, to recognize what it is, but not to let it become who you are. I am not anger in this moment. I maybe have an anger. I can see that there's a bit of an anger in me, maybe a lot of an anger in me, but it's not me, and I can let it go and restore the balance. I think that's part of the work, and I feel like that's a big part of the work for you. Okay. We're going to go to this mystery card, this confirmation card now. I'm sorry, this was kind of a heavy reading. I feel like you've had some heavy readings lately. We'll get to the good stuff, I promise, okay? The mystery card, bonus card, is that Hermit energy. This is definitely kind of the confirmation or encapsulation of what we've been talking about here with this fluctuation, this alternation, outgoing light and energy, and then withdrawing that energy internally. And I think that's quite what the Hermit does. I think the Hermit is now in this phase. It's if we have this fluctuation of outflowing energy and then the withdrawing, the internalization of this energy, I think right now you're entering more of this internal phase, more of this Hermit phase. Okay. And I thought this week was going to be about the fluctuation, right? About the outward and then inward and back and forth. Maybe this week is more about the internal. Maybe you're going to have more moments of the introspection, of keeping the light and the feeling and this water energy, keeping it inside to do its magic within you, right? And so that's okay. If this week is a necessary period of withdrawing, retirement, introspection, internalizing, really coming to grips with a lot of this energy, and I think that's very necessary, and I think that you definitely need to take advantage of the opportunity to do that. I think with the Hermit card, there is that risk of remaining withdrawn or isolated or internal. Okay, and you still have to remember that the Hermit has the light. They have the lamp. So it's not that they go completely dark. They still have that lamp, and it's almost so other people can still see them and know where they are, you know? So it's almost like you've got to keep the candle in the window. You've got to keep the fire going, because that is the connection, that is the subtle kind of communication with others to let everyone know, hey, I'm still here. I'm just taking a little bit of time, you know. And I think this is important. Again, the way I look at tarot is that these cards are always right. Never get an incorrect card in any reading, okay? Sometimes, though, as the interpreter, I might not understand your particular situation completely down to every detail, okay? So try to connect directly with these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond just what I'm telling you, okay? Go back and watch this reading again. Pause it as I show the cards and really try to connect with each one of these and see how this all comes together for you. I also encourage you to watch the videos for all of your sign placements, solar, lunar, rising, maybe even your Mercury placement. Watch those videos. Take out what resonates. Put all of that together and you've got a very unique and specialized reading that's tailored more towards you, you know? Anyway, thank you for letting me read for you. This was your weekly tarot reading, January 15th through 21st. Stick around for the extended. Become a member to the channel. The links for everything are in the description box, so I encourage you to do that. Thank you. I will see you next week here on Dove and Serpent Tarot.